The ever-so-secretive AI image generation model known as Nano that has been making people go bananas lately is finally revealed. Revealed to be Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview. Described by themselves as state-of-the-art image generation and editing. Definitely agree with that, not only if you saw my last video, but you'll see in today's video, this thing is absolutely absurd. So much so that I am canceling my Adobe subscription. The character consistency is also pretty incredible most of the time, and it is pretty lightning fast. Maybe not lightning fast, probably a little bit quicker than it takes you to fill your car with gas. But yes, you can try it for free in the AI Studio. You can see it has limited free quota for testing to generate images beyond the limit, or to use the model in projects, you have to use the Gemini API. But I love the fact that they're giving everyone some amount of limited free access right off the get-go. Alright, Gemini, put me in some themed armor inspired by the banana. And bam, like 10 seconds later, I get this back. And it's absolutely perfect. It's better than I could have imagined myself. Not only is my face consistent, not only is the background consistent, but I'm in the suit of armor. It's space age, heavily inspired by the banana. We've got the glowing banana logo. I look epic. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, this was a really hyped up release. No one really knew who made Nano Banana, but a lot of us just suspected it was Google based on how good it was. Now, obviously, leading up to the release of Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview, Image Gen, folks at Google, like the co-founder and CEO at Google DeepMind, have been posting all kinds of hints, like, yeah, we made Nano Banana and it's coming soon. So this was yesterday. You can see there's a little microscopic banana strange object spotted under the microscope over the weekend in the lab. And of course, the replies are absolutely stellar with this image editing model. I mean, we could put this CEO anywhere. Here's another insane example by Chetaslewa. Not sure if I pronounced that right, but Nano Banana marks the beginning of Photoshop's end. I personally am canceling my sub. Edit, filter, add, remove. Literally do anything you want to an image. And yeah, it's available for free today. Check out this gen. This is kind of a visual gag for devs. It's businesscard.json. So this would be like a Java piece of code, and it's your business card. So in the code, it has your name, your title, your email, and your website. And of course, it looks like a little open file on a computer. It gets the X right, it gets the maximize and minimize correct, file, edit, search, view, encoding, language settings, tools. That all looks pretty legit. And we've got all these file icons. I mean, saving. Some of these, that's supposed to be scissors. It's kind of a little wonky. It's not absolutely perfect, but it's pretty close to getting there. Generation of something on this caliber, even with the best of diffusion models, is going to be a struggle. Now, if you use up all your credits in the AI Studio for free, apparently the Gemini app is also getting native image generation and editing. This is the same Nano Banana model. I have access to it. It says that they're rolling it out, but apparently it's going to be free for everybody. This is basically like just download Gemini and now you have an automated Photoshop level assistant that can make anything in image format pretty much. Obviously, I want to show you guys a bunch of the testing that I've been doing behind the scenes because I did get early access to this. First though, got to do my due diligence. Let's check the benchmarks. In the blue, we have Gemini 2.5 Flash Image, aka Nano Banana, and let's cut to the chase. It's winning in every single benchmark except for stylization, but who are we competing with? GPT-4o native image gen on the high quality mode, Flux 1 Context Max, Qwen Image Edit, which just came out as well and had really positive reception in the community, and of course Gemini 2.0 Flash Image, the old version. I like that they're comparing against the competitors, and they're doing this because they know their model is good enough to compete with competitors. If we look at the overall preference, most people prefer Gemini 2.5 Flash Image. It beats 4.0 no problem, Flux 1 Context, Qwen Image Edit, and the original 2.0 Flash. Same pretty much goes for character, creative tasks, infographics, object and environment manipulation, product recontextualization. GPT-4o wins in stylization, and so does Qwen Image Edit. But 2.5 Flash is still not far behind at all and is absolutely crushing Flux Context and the original Gemini 2.0 Flash Image Gen. And the news just keeps on getting better. In the API, it is way cheaper than OpenAI's native image gen, which costs about 19 cents per gen. This is only about 4 cents per gen. Not only that, it's already available in Europe, which continues to be an issue for new AI releases, so I'm glad to see that this one right off the gate is available. Now, like I said, guys, I did indeed get early access from Google to test this out, but I couldn't really share anything until it was released publicly. This is a real photo from like the 50s or something. Try our tasty uranium burger. It's only 45 cents. TLDR, the burger never actually had uranium in it. It was just named uranium burger because of all the stuff going on at the time. Cool pick. I wanted to modernize it. I said, remake this in modern day. Image edit. That's it. And boom, it outputs something that is jaw-dropping. Not only did it do a full colorization on this image, but it meticulously went through and changed each detail that was old-timey to modern. So here's the original. We'll focus on the sign first. Try our tasty uranium burger for only 45 cents. And now it's try our delicious plant-based protein burger, $16.99. Unfortunately, a very realistic price these days. There have been some slight changes to the burger. This one obviously just kind of looks like 2 patties or so, a couple of fries, something on the side, but Gemini has changed it to be a little bit more lively. Looks like sweet potato fries, a clear picturesque burger. Her clothes have also been changed to jean clothes, all jean. I guess that is much more modern, and you'll notice the machine in the background here is just kind of vibing, and in the new one we've got a little iPad so you can add a 30% tip. But yeah, pretty incredible. It did all of these nuanced little changes. That takes real intelligence, real forethought and planning that this model visually has. It can just remake all the pixels exactly how you would expect. And yeah, the colorization itself, like turning this old black and white photo to a color photo, is already really impressive for an AI to just be able to do, but to make all of these edits and have it still look exactly the same in real, it's just on another level of total insanity. For my next test, I uploaded a photo of a car and I said, this background is boring. Pro level edit this to put the car on the moon with the earth in the background. Make the lighting spot on. Again, it's like a couple of sentences, very simple prompt. Here is the original picture and here is the edit that Gemini produced. Really incredible. You guys really gotta understand, to produce edits of this caliber and quality, it takes so much visual understanding of our world and even reasoning about it. We've got this original angle of the car, but the sun is facing a certain way. We've got certain shadows, certain reflections on the car from objects behind. I mean, it's the real world. There's a million things happening at once and they're all captured when the photo is taken. There are very subtle details like the wheels, door handle, spoiler, etc. that are notoriously difficult to carry over when an AI is editing. The wheels are nearly perfect. Some of these spokes are a little off. Obviously, these lug nuts are also a little off, but don't forget they also had to be entirely relit, of course, to put the shadow facing this background way instead of facing the other way like it was in this image. The reflection of the gas station had to be removed. You'll see the door handle is almost perfectly copied over, as well as the spoiler and the rest of the details. Of course, making sure the earth is genuinely in the background like it's supposed to, and we are clearly on the surface of the moon. Even having tire tracks like I've been driving this thing around on the moon, there is a monumental difference in the hood here in terms of the way it looks before and after, but it's so clearly the same 3D object, just in a different scenario with different lighting. It understands the shape, the slight curvatures based on the previous reflections from the input image, as well as the little bump in the center. I can't stress this enough. To even be able to do an edit like this in Photoshop, creating all of the reflections, producing this correctly, it's going to take a very long time. This does it in 35 seconds. And the thing is that it works with references of almost every kind, whether it's a person, your pet, you name it, it can probably combine and work with it. Now, of course, guys, this thing isn't just limited by image editing, it also can natively generate images. I asked for an image of a cathedral made entirely of pulsing jellyfish, their tendrils wired into golden gears, while enormous train wheels roll silently across the ceiling sky. Something really ethereal, not real. Wanted to push the detail to its limit, and you can see it absolutely did that. Well, we can definitely see a cathedral pretty much all made of jellyfish and these gears. The gears don't look as good as the jellyfish, and we're kind of just cramming too much detail into this scene. It portrays it pretty well overall, but we're just at the maximum limits. It can only push so much. This is where human artists absolutely roll on AI image software at the moment. They can't do that high clarity detail in ultimate perfection at insane resolutions like we can yet, but I'm sure that's going to be coming in the next couple of years. This is low res, like 1024 by 1024, and it is lacking a little bit of detail when you super push it like this, but it's still so close and follows the prompt incredibly accurately. Next up, AI controlled mechs designed as armored lemons, glowing cracks revealing juice-powered engines, dystopian battlefield bathed in acidic yellow haze. Actually a little bit more simple, this was no problem for Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview. That is a mouthful. Nano Banana nailed this. It's a little bit easier to say. All the mechs are kind of the same. They look very similar. You can see their robotic leaking engines and their lemon mech bodies that are AI powered, and this wasteland, the yellow fog, exactly matches the prompt. Honestly, couldn't ask for anything too much better. Sure, the finer details are a little bit mixy-uppy and a little bit strange, but it's pretty darn incredible. Decided to roll on this. I wanted a post-apocalyptic marketplace where lemons are currency, and we've got like two goblins arguing over AI-generated lemon currency with each other or something. This is pretty cool. You know, we've got these creepy-looking characters, very creative. I like the styles and the detail. They've both got lemons. They're arguing or bartering. They've got sharp claws. Definitely post-apocalyptic vibes and lemons everywhere. Since this model is probably an autoregressive architecture very similar to OpenAI's GPT Image 1, I wanted to try some less visually directly descriptive prompts and try things that are more like feelings or ideas that flow within words. So I said the feeling of remembering something you can never return to, painted as a place that does not exist but feels like home. Pretty trippy, pretty weird. I think it nails this from like a human soul aspect pretty well. Kind of looks like somewhere you might see in a dream. It's a beautiful scene, but the scaling doesn't really make sense. It feels like you can't exist here. You can kind of just glimpse it. It looks peaceful. It looks like somewhere you want to be and feel safe to be, but something just isn't quite normal. You can't reach it. It's not attainable. Pretty great job overall. Next up, I wanted a portrait of resilience. Fragile materials holding impossible structures together, trembling but unbroken. Interestingly enough, Nano Banana took this quite literally and generated this. So it's like this macro shot, some really tiny like twigs and leaves and cobwebs all joined together in these little rings that just look like they're barely alive. It definitely kind of encases that idea of fragility or fragile structures that are barely holding on but supporting itself. Interesting choice. This is why I love to run tests like these, because you get outputs that you wouldn't really expect. Next up, the exact instant between breaking and healing, captured as light splitting across glass. This light definitely gives off healing vibes, and the split gives off broken vibes. Not much to say. This one's honestly kind of simple, but rendered pretty brilliantly. Next up, the way childhood smells when you think about it too hard. Colors too bright, objects stretched and exaggerated, happiness mixed with unease. Here is our output. Takes you back to when you were a kid. Everything was very colorful. The skies are beautiful. The day is beautiful. Ice cream, toys, playing outside, bubbles. Kind of nails the whole vibe. There's this really strange hand that is kind of reaching out to grab the bubble, and the bubble also contains this entire scene inside of it. So it's a little bit meta, and you can see the bubble actually repeating in itself twice-fold, which is something I never thought an image generator would just do based off of its own guise, not having me prompt it. But yeah, the floating hand, honestly, that kind of feels like a mistake. Feels like it should be a first-person hand kind of reaching out, not just this random disembodied one. But the reflection was such a cool move and change to this that I still am pretty impressed with this generation. Next up, the hunger for meaning, painted as an endless staircase that leads nowhere, but still compels you to climb. Pretty fun. We've got a lot of humanoid figures climbing endless stairs trying to reach knowledge. Again, it shows you that detail limit. The people are kind of just mushy, a little bit in the background, a little bit more detail up front. It's a great image and it's a great rendition and rendering, but definitely could have a little bit more detail and clarity to it, right? So that's something that these models are still working on. You can actually see the staircase is pretty messed up back here too. So I wanted to try Google's Storybook experiment, which allows you to make actual stories, and it generates images of them with consistent characters too. And this obviously, you can tell by the quality, uses Nano Banana. Here's a funny picture of me holding up some noodles. I need a hyper-real story about this guy getting abducted by aliens. They take him to a place known as the singularity point of the universe, where all knowledge is. So if we pull up this full storybook, you can see how insane this is. It's called 2:17 a.m. by Matthew Pierce, yours truly. I'm just trying to make some ramen. The clock on the microwave blinked 2:17 a.m. Matthew stood in the quiet hum of his kitchen. The crinkle of ramen packet was the only sound breaking the silence. It was a familiar ritual, a comforting end to a long day. Yes, this is just all too real, honestly. Next up, pale blue light is coming through the windows. I froze, still clutching the ramen pack. Suddenly, the world dissolves into white noise and pressure. The feeling of the floor beneath my feet vanished. It wasn't falling, but a sense of being pulled apart and reassembled, molecule by molecule. So here's me being literally torn apart, but it got the hands pretty close to perfect, and yeah, definitely the same character. Boom! Instantly transported into a room with no corners. The walls, the floor, and ceiling are seamless. Pearlescent material, shift and flow. They're slender, tall, shimmering, light-containing beings that are now going to talk to me. I'm meeting the singularity. Apparently, they are navigators that have chosen me for a pilgrimage. I look absolutely horrified. Yeah, fair enough, man. It's about the face I would really make if I was in this scenario. Story continues on. They are taking me to a place where all paths converge, where time and space are one, the origin and the end. We call it the singularity. So then they take me to this place. I'm transformed. Space is in my eyes. This is a really cool generation, basically showing me gaining all knowledge in my brain at once. You can see it's floating. Half of my body is gone, but it's like the birth of the first quasar, the taste of water on a world a billion light years away, the final words of a forgotten poet, the mathematical equation that bound gravity to light. It poured into me, every fact, every feeling, every moment. Pretty awesome image. I'm having an all-encompassing experience. The boundless totality of the cosmos is flowing through me. I was becoming everything, and in doing so, ceasing to be himself. And honestly, I like the end of this story. You may remain, the navigators offered, or you may return. A choice to be a god or a man. In the face of infinity, he clung to the memory of a crinkling plastic packet. He wanted the simple aching beauty of being small, of not knowing everything. Return, he thought, a desperate final plea from the last shred of his identity. And bam. Brought right back there, looking a few years older with a ramen packet. Nothing had changed, but as he stared at the cheap familiar packaging, he saw the swirling nebulae, the birth of stars, and the infinite silent expanse contained within its simple earthly promise. Amazing. So you could see a simple application like this, where we just use it to generate a storybook, is incredibly efficient and effective. It's a consistent character across the whole thing, really tells a story with good writing. It just nails it. And I mean, this was generated in, probably like 10 minutes. Couple more examples. This is a scene that is supposed to depict the first humans ever discovering that they can control fire. I thought that this was pretty epic. It's all lit by the single fire that the one person is holding in their hand. Soon they're going to feel that it's burning them and they'll probably drop it, but everyone is freaking out behind them as they all learn. Also wanted to do the first time a person ever saw their reflection in water. This one came out a little bit worse. It's a little bit more creepy, definitely like hyper detailed, but still artistically drawn in a sense. To finish off some final image editing, I uploaded this photo of a dog, edit this image, add little text labels and slight glows around each distinct object. Kind of give you like a techno vision. Pet carrier is labeled twice. Belt floor and blanket is an interesting description for the inside of the pet carrier, but okay. Obviously, car door interior is going to be here as well, and the happy doggo himself. Gives you an idea of how it visually can outline and understand things, but it's still somewhat limited. This could definitely be pushed farther. Here's another quick image edit of myself, finally finding the lost blue diamond of all power. I wanted this to look like a cinematic scene. Absolutely could do that, and I could do this a virtually unlimited number of times. So I could have myself in a movie as a consistent character in consistent scenes, pretty much do anything I want, and then convert those to generated videos, theoretically with an AI image to video generator. Pretty darn awesome. Of course, I also did some Nano banana style memes myself. You can see this is a card for the Nano banana. Some monks praying to the all-powerful technology. And finally, we'll end with a couple of pixel art concepts. You can see, again, it struggles with the detail to do perfect pixel art, but it's definitely trying to get there. Overall, this art is tantalizing, detailed, and promising, but it's not quite perfect pixel art. The pixels are just too small individually for Gemini to get it perfect, and it ends up looking like this strange blend. Here is another example, kind of a similar situation. This one is more sparks flying around and danger, and this one is a little bit more atmospheric and pleasant. But yeah, the pixel art is kind of the same deal all the way around. These pixels are just too small. If we ask for something bigger, it might look a little bit better, but yeah, we're hitting that detail limit with images like this. So yeah, guys, just like we all thought, Nano Banana turned out to be a Google creation. It also turned out to be related to the Gemini series of models, and it seems like we might actually get more Gemini releases this week, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. The fact also is that this model was codenamed Nano Banana, meaning small. Does that mean they have a large banana? A Gemini 2.5 Pro image preview, not just 2.5 Flash image preview? Gotta leave you wondering if they've got a bigger, badder model based off of this that we still haven't seen in the background. Anyways, they cooked OpenAI, they cooked everybody. Gemini is really winning on a lot of fronts. They've got the best video generator with native audio support now, the best image generator with native editing support. What else? The 2.5 Pro model has held up really well over time. It's a great thinking and reasoning model, not to mention other products like Notebook LM that are kind of one of a kind in the AI space. There's a lot of competition overall, but Google has a solid foothold. Their tech is really great and their releases usually come free. So yeah, check this one out either on the Gemini app or the AI Studio. Everything's going to be linked down below. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.